Hello, hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to Unravelled, where we take gorgeous geekery and turn it into questionable crafts.
Here we see a subterranean Pokemon that never leaves the earth in which it is born. Or we would do if I'd remembered to turn on the light.
Diglett is essentially a mole, and it spends its entire life in the ground or in a Pokeball, but we've never actually seen all of it. So instead of crocheting a replica of a whack-a-mole game, I've gone the whole mole and I'm going to crochet the rest of Diglett too. No, not a human body. Oh, let's just get started. So let's start from the beginning. Diglett is made of svelte velvet, but I don't have any of that, so good old double knit will have to do. Diglett's head begins life much like a marriage. It starts with a magic ring. It's the top of the head or the crown, so I'm double crocheting 6 stitches into the magic ring, and then I will be increasing 6 times in every round around to create a delightful disc. The size of the delightful disc depended on how big I wanted it to be, but seeing as I didn't know how big I wanted it to be, I decided that 42 stitches around is probably about right. I was originally going to stop at 24 stitches around, but that would have made Diglett more of a pencil topper than an actual plushie, so 42 it is. After increasing, I then double crocheted straight to give Diglett's crown the correct-ish curve, or thereabout. Oh no, Steve and the stitch marker are fighting! It's also perfectly possible that it's just me getting in my own way. To get the correct proportions, or one that was visually pleasing at least, I double crocheted straight for 15 rounds, or thereabouts. But after crocheting up to where I imagined Diglett's head would end, I continued to where I imagined his body would end as well. It's quite impressive. But before we crochet any further, I'd best stuff Diglett up to the gills with some forbidden candy floss. The stuffing is 100% high loft polyester, and I don't know what the high loft means. Did they find it in a hayloft above a barn where it drifted up from sheep? These are the thoughts I think. Steve, stay there and hold down the fort. I'll just be a sec. Yeah, just don't move. Anyway, we give it a little wiggle to evenly distribute the floss, and I can close up his bottom. For this next round, I am double crocheting into the back loops because I want Diglett to be able to stand up all on his own. That creates this line of front loops you can see that makes everything crocheted after it bend along this line. So now I can invisible decrease on every round after here, and Diglett will have a sturdy platform to rest on after a hard day's tunnelling. I'm decreasing 6 times, same as I increased, mainly because I couldn't be bothered figuring out the other factors of 42. Now, this is where I've got so far, so let's test the theory that he can stand on his own 2 feet. Oh. There we go. Boop. Next, this lovely peachy colour will soon be a stomach. I thought Diglett would probably have a stomach, and I forgot he's supposed to be a mole and not a meerkat, but c'est la vie. The stomach is crocheted flat by chaining 4 stitches, increasing for 2 or 3 rounds to curve in a similar way to the crown of Diglett's head. Oh, those pesky last stitches on a row drive me crazy. After the increases, I then double crocheted straight because, let's face it, Diglett is just a fuzzy Pringles tube right now. And I appear to have mislaid my notes that tells me exactly how many bloody rows that is. Either way, at the end I then decreased until it came to a point because I also imagined that Diglett would have a tail. But that comes later. No, all this imagining, it's gonna run out if I'm not careful. When I got to the point of the stomach, I realised that the point of the stomach was to be less pointy than it actually was, so I depointed it by double crocheting once all the way around. I also conveniently forgot to increase at the corners as I was crocheting all the way around, and accidentally making it fit better on the curve of Diglett's tubular body. Cutting a long tail short, you see what I did there? So now I have one stomach, or should I say one blaster. As promised, I said Diglett should have a tail, and a tail he shall have. Even though I have no idea if moles actually have tails, but this one does. I double crocheted 4 stitches into a magicus ringius and increased 4 times every round until I got a cone shape roughly as wide as the body. First one was a bit too small and now we've got a knot in the way. There, that's more like it. Now, let's see if this measures up.
Oh no, I've accidentally made the penguin from the wrong trousers. Ew, the horror.
Good film though. Now the tail can get sewn on to the little back bum equator line, and I need to leave a little pocket so I can whack a teeny bit of stuffing in there. Just enough to hold its shape. I just thread this needle. I sewed the tail on using a bit of an undery handed method between 3 of the 4 pins that I put in there, so we could have this little pocket right here, which I can just about squeeze my finger in. Now we just need a tiny bit of this, just this bit here, that'll do. Stuff that in there. Then zipping it closed so the stuffing will stay relatively put. Just need to tie a knot here and then weaving in the end so it all doesn't come undone again. 4. Bloop. Right, we have a body. We have a tail. The stomach's going in here somewhere. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The rest of this is going to be the head. Oh, bloody hell, how did I do that? I'm sure Steve will remind me if it's important. While Steve's off remembering what I've forgotten, I've sewn the stomach to the body and the tail. And yep, he can still stand on his own 2 feet. Feet, that's what I've forgotten, feet. Moles have 2 perfectly pink pairs of paws and a cute little snoot. So I've crocheted 4 little fingies. Well, 3 fingies on each paw. And happy little fingies they are too. Wait, where'd they go? Now I can't find Steve. I'm sure Mark will find him. Oh well, while they're away, let's sew on this snoot. The nose is made by double crocheting 4 into a magic ring for a couple of rounds, then 1 round straight and then a few rounds of decrease. The paws were made by crocheting flat, chaining 3 stitches and then crocheting straight for 2 rows. Then I crocheted each fingy individually as 1 stitch of 2 rows long. And now all that Diglett needs is some embroidered personality. Well, that's that. I think it turned out quite cute, surprisingly. Speaking of surprisingly cute, my next life-size project is in the works and it'll either turn out cute as a button or terrifyingly nightmare-inducingly why is that at the end of my bed scary. Who knows, I haven't made it yet. 50-50. What do you think? But for now, that's it from me, so whether you're a girl, a guy, non-binary, hi, or just passing by, I am so glad you're here. And I'll see you next time for more Unravelled Chaos.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.